Hello, Anne. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Uh, okay. All
Okay.
things considered, I'm okay. I have no. I'm coming into this kind of fast, and I haven't really adjusted my ring light, which I'm going to do right now. No, that's no good. That's better, but it needs a little. Oh no, it needs to go up. Right? Am I getting more light? Yeah, getting more
You're
light. There
definitely
we
getting
go.
more light. No.
There we go. Okay, we're gonna leave it like that. Um, Anne, I'm so sorry. I know that since the last time we did this, Emily has passed away,
Yes.
and you obviously have my condolences. I've lost a few over the years, and yes, as um, never easy. But I understand you didn't waste any time
Uh,
uh, recasting those roles.
yeah, I've adopted a pair of brothers, and they're 8 months old, and they're black American short hairs with some white markings. And the names that they came with are Cyber Monday and Misdemeanor, which are
Misdemeanor.
yeah, Misdemeanor for Mr. is a pun. Yeah. So
Okay.
so anyway, those are stupid names. So
Well, misdemeanor I don't is not so bad, not as good as Ms. Adventure,
yeah,
but those are way too long for cat names. And
yes, exactly. So anyway, they will be renamed Bruno and Leno, but I haven't just
oh,
haven't decided which one's which yet.
but I definitely know who Lino is named for. But Bruno would be for which Bruno?
Kremer.
Bruno Kremer. Okay,
Yeah,
very good.
yeah.
Nice.
And
Bruno and
Leno
Lino.
Venturo for people that
Of
that
course, of
don't that,
course.
that don't know.
The great Lino Ventura.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, we should start a band with our cats because
Yes.
because I too now have a new family member. Although I don't are your boys affectionate?
Uh, yes, they're still getting adjusted because I picked them up on Tuesday night. And basically, what happened was, they got shipped up from Southern California with a bunch of other cats from a shelter there, I guess, and brought to San Francisco. And that was like, I guess, on Sunday. And then on Monday, they went, and then basically they got, examined and all this stuff. And then foster parents picked them up. So this has been like basically they were that all, and then I picked them up. And so that was like all happening within 2 or 3 days. So they're still adjusting.
Okay. Did you? How did you come to choose these two?
So when I went to the SPCA, they didn't have any cats in, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna have the shipment of cats coming up and stuff. Just check the website." And I specifically wanted a pair of bonded, brothers. And so I went on there and I saw their photos, and then so I put in an application, and then I had a Zoom meeting like with the SPCA staff and the foster parents where the cats were. And then I was like, yeah, I definitely would like them. So yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah. And like I said, they're just still kind of going through an adjustment period because that was getting that's a lot of moving for a cat. Cats don't like
No kidding. I mean,
to
those
be
are.
moved around
I
that
didn't. I
much.
didn't even know. I mean, I just learned something new. I didn't even know that they moved animals around for adoption. I
Yeah.
thought they were all like in the area. It would seem to me that there are enough animals in one area that they don't have to bring them in from elsewhere. But that's kind of fascinating. So these are well-traveled cats. So I can understand why they would be a little skittish, right off the bat.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of letting them, kind of do their thing and stuff. But they do come up for to get pet and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I said we should start a band because our new addition is also a black
Yeah.
short hair cat, a feral cat that has that has been around. I don't know how much of this I've mentioned previously on other installments of Ask Eddie and Anne. By the way, that's what you're all watching here is
Oh, right. We
Ask
started
Eddie
talking
and
about the
Anne.
cats.
Because
This
we
is
immediately started talking more about the cats. This is Anne Hawkins, the director of communication for the Film Noir Foundation, and I'm Eddie Muller, founder and president of said foundation. But right now, we're both just cat lovers talking about our companions.
yes.
And yeah, so I don't know how much I've mentioned about Bento, which is finally the name we've settled on.
I love that name.
Bento. Because our first cat that Kathleen and I had was a feral cat that we adopted. It was a long saga, and that cat's name was Bent. And this cat reminds us so much of Bent that we just put the O on the end as like Bento or Bentu, you know. Um, so and I don't know that I mentioned that, you know, she was living in our basement for a long time during COVID. And then I kicked her out and said she had to, you know, make a living on her own.
Yeah.
And because she was inviting too many other animals into our basement. And but she never really left.
Yeah.
And then this is the part I really can't remember if I mentioned or not. When I was in New York for the TCM pop-up festival in New York, Kathleen was home and I guess she left the front door open or something. And Bento came in, which he had been around the house and we'd been feeding him for almost a year. And then he just came in the house and ran back in the basement.
Yeah.
And decided it's winter time now and it's warmer in here.
Yeah.
So she is here again.
Yeah.
But now we talk and we can actually touch her and give her little scritches and everything. And you know, she does her own thing, which is nice after the incredible care we had to give to our special needs child.
Yeah.
This cat is fiercely independent. So, you know, it's whatever. But it's so neat because when they do talk to you, when she comes up the stairs and walks into the kitchen and starts talking, it's like completely on their terms. So it's like, you know, what's going on? I choose to be here, you know, and she doesn't always do it just because she's looking for food. She just decides, I think I'll go up and see what those guys are doing now.
Yeah.
And then when she's done, she leaves. You know, it's pretty cool. Okay, so that's the cat update. We're starting right off with the cat update.
Yeah.
Now,
so just people know, we actually answer questions that people have sent us about film noir.
We don't just talk about our cats.
We just don't talk about our cats. And also, so basically, if someday you would like to submit a question for us to answer, what you do is you subscribe to our newsletter. You sign up on our email list at filmnoirfoundation.org. And we solicit the questions through our newsletters. And then if you also donate $20 or more to the Film Noir Foundation, then you will receive our electronic version of Noir City Magazine, which has some of the best writing on film noir.
Best writing on film, I think.
Film, yeah.
I mean, yes, it all is noir centric, but I am extremely proud of our bullpen, as they like to say. Right, it's fantastic. Also, I'm just going to give a quick shout out. One of those contributors, Rachel Walther, for people who are in the Bay Area, Rachel has a new book coming out called Born to Lose that's about the history of Dog Day Afternoon, the real event that it's based on, and the movie that was made, and then its aftermath. And she's going to be doing an event, I think it's at the 4-Star Theater in San Francisco on March 14th, in conversation with another dear friend of mine, Audra Wolfman, the 3-time Ms. Noir City, will be in conversation with Rachel. So I am going to go see that.
Yeah.
And I suggest everybody else go as well if they can.
Yeah, and we reposted the Instagram post she put up. So
Oh, fantastic.
yeah,
Great, great, great. Well, I'd have to look at social media to know that.
right.
And
I know you don't do that.
for very real health reasons, I try to stay off social media these days as much as possible.
Um,
So
I've got
shall
my algorithm pretty well done. It's all pretty much just movie stuff and that kind of thing. Danish humor, a lot of Danish humor stuff. That's
good,
about it.
good.
Yeah, I just because I
That's
don't like respond to politics on any of my social media accounts, so it keeps it nice and clean.
yeah. Which at this point, I think if you are not if you have not written off all the social media things for anything relating to the real world,
Yeah,
you're making a mistake because it is so filled with artificially generated images and they're faking things as real photographs that aren't. Remember, did you ever see the movie Under Fire with Nick Nolte and
is he a
I think
journalist in
Gene
that?
Hackman was in it and Joanna Cassidy was in it. I think Roger Spottiswoode directed that film. It was a really good movie about journalistic ethics and like doctoring a photograph.
Yeah,
To, blah blah blah. Do you do it or don't you do it? How quaint! How quaint a notion of journalistic ethics. When like today when I did stray onto social media because I had somebody texted me and said you have to look at this or that, and I saw 3 clearly fake photographs that were posted as news photographs that were
this is why no one should get, but you shouldn't do your news from social media. That's just
no.
ridiculous, which is why I don't do that. Like I said, all my stuff is just film stuff and film stuff.
and that's it. And cat videos and cat
And cat
videos.
stuff. Yeah, so cat stuff. And like I said, just stuff about a lot of stuff about Denmark and things like that. And I just basically, if I want to know what's going on in the world, I read The Guardian. And I really
Likewise, I have a subscription to The Guardian. Yeah.
yeah, because they're actually, if people don't know the reason why I read The Guardian, well, one, I lived in London, but two, it's actually because it's like one of the few independently owned newspapers in the world. It's actually not owned by a conglomerate corporation. And regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, I think we can all agree that having large corporations owning all our news outlets
Tell me about it.
is not a good idea. And I feel like everybody can agree on that. I don't see that as a right left stuff. We all need to be concerned that,
Right.
especially you got to remember these are people that
They're
manufacture
only
our
they're
food,
only
they
vested.
manufacture.
Correct. Their only vested interest is in the truth.
Yeah.
And that's as it was always supposed to be for the press. And call me naive, but I still subscribe to that.
Yeah.
But and before we get started, I will make a quick detour because I think people who are watching this now are probably based on the big eye roll I just gave when you talked about corporate interests owning the media.
Yeah.
I am this is happening post the announcement that Paramount is now the potentially going to take ownership of Warner Brothers, not Netflix. And I'm sure a lot of people are wondering if I'm going to address that. And I will address it in the same way that I have addressed everything. I see no reason for optimism. I can't say what I really think because these are all either my current employer or my potential employer. But I have long campaigned, I have long warned about what we are witnessing right now. That eventually the merger mania that I saw in my lifetime really begin in the 1980s is reaching the point where it is coming. We're getting to the stage where literally half a dozen people are going to own everything in the United States of America.
Yeah.
And if anybody thinks that's a good idea, they can come over to my house and I will disabuse them of the notion in short order.
You gonna come on camera?
And that's all I have to say about that subject until a later date.
Okay. So yeah, we'll see what how that's all plays out. Okay. So we should probably get to questions now that we've
We should,
pontificated for the evening.
yes, that's
Hopefully
enough
we
of
haven't
that.
we hope we haven't completely lost everybody that actually just really wanted us to talk about movies.
I think there are a number of cat fanciers that watch
I
this
think
show.
the cat, hopefully so.
Okay, so who's going to start?
I'll start. This is from our friend Alan. We just lost Robert Duvall. I shall miss him. To me, the great actors are the ones 10 minutes into the film. I see the character, not the actor playing him. Any thoughts about Mr. Duvall?
That's a really good observation that Alan has. Yeah, I'm. Yeah, he just disappeared into stuff. It's funny, I guess I'm trying to think if there's another actor I mean, obviously Robert Duvall was older than me because he was like what, 95 or something when he died.
He was in his 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like I witnessed his entire career, right? I mean, I did not see To Kill a Mockingbird on its initial release. I was only 5 years old or something, or 6 years old. But after that, it's like, wow, I saw everything. The Rain People and THX 1138, and of course the Godfather and all that stuff. It's like I grew up with this guy, and he was always the best thing in every movie that he made. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, or let me put it this way: if he wasn't the best thing, he was giving the most truthful and honest performance in any movie that he made.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the guy was unbelievable. And then later on, of course, he started, directing movies, surprised everybody with that tango movie he did. I had no idea that he was into the tango, but just the guy was amazing. I think he will. And he's also interesting because he did have a few leading roles, right? He won the Oscar for Best Actor, Tender Mercies. And he's in that great, dare I say, neo-noir, The Outfit, which is terrific. But, he was one of those guys that could switch between playing character roles and being a lead in a film, which is not all that easy to do, and I respected him for always seeing that it was about, is this an interesting character to play, and will this be challenging? And he would take smaller roles just because the character appealed to him, and he didn't have to be, he didn't have a star's ego. He was an actor, man. So I think the guy's the greatest.
And I would really recommend, if people have not seen it, to watch The Apostle, which I think is an amazing film. And it was a little frustrating when it came out. I was working in a video store trying to get people to watch it because it was it's about a religious character, and people were like, it's like, well, the majority of the world is religious. So, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not, but it's not like I'm not going to watch a film.
Apparently it's not a thing among a lot of cinephiles.
Yeah.
But I mean,
that's
a great film. It really is a great film. And that's his baby.
It's like the best film I've ever seen about redemption. It's amazing. It's an amazing film. And also Junebug is in it. So there's that. She plays his mom. That's June Carter for people that don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So and she's terrific in it too. You know, she always wanted to be an actress. But anyway, so I really highly recommend The Apostle. I mean, it's an amazing film. 2 thumbs up.
Um, I'm seeing that our second question is about that movie.
Well, it's not about the movie. It's just about, well, you'll see.
Well, it's funny. He says, well, I'm going to see what this says here. So,
Yeah. But Joe from Suffolk County.
okay, he says, we were all saddened to learn of the death of a truly great actor, Robert Duvall. My personal favorite performance of his is the title role in The Apostle. There you go, Joe. He will be best remembered for his strong performance as Tom Hagen, the man with the special practice with one client. I wonder, do you think he's going to be most remembered as Tom Hagen in The Godfather? I don't think so. I mean, clearly
I
he
think
will be
probably,
remembered.
I think Apocalypse Now is probably his
I think
most
Colonel
remembered
Kilgore
role.
in Apocalypse
Yeah.
Now is going to be. I mean, I just noticed instantly that was the pictures of him,
Was
with the cavalry hat and everything, shirtless. That was what accompanied virtually all the
yeah.
obituaries. And when that happens, it's like that's because that's the role they identify you with. Anyway, with much admiration and respect, I submit this question inspired by his signature role in The Godfather. Just suppose that you were charged with a criminal offense in Noir City. Whom would you call with your one phone call? And it looks like he's giving us options here of
Yes,
which
he's
of these
giving us
people do we?
options.
Because I was immediately thinking like, who would I call? Who was my who's the best defense attorney in like a classic noir? I want to say because he played that role so many times. I want to say like, I guess he wasn't a defense attorney in Postman, but Leon Ames was always playing attorneys. But I wouldn't trust that guy as far as I could throw him. He just always seemed too smarmy to me.
I
Anyway.
would say Dan Dury in the film where he was, but that's just so I could hang out with him.
Oh, okay. But I'm
Is
looking here to see.
Sorry, is that
what
Slaughter?
was the film? What was the film with Duryea where he was an
I
attorney?
think it's Slaughter on Fifth Avenue.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Slaughter on Fifth Avenue.
He seems like a very good one in it. I mean, he's good at his job, but
Maybe I'll take Paul Newman from The Verdict, and then we can go out drinking together. Okay. Okay. Well, the options that Joe gives us are Tom Hagen. I'm having a hard time reading this. Tom Hagen, there's some note about Tom Hagen here. He will be glad to arrange to have your brother attend the trial to offer amoral support. Okay, I get it. Because what you're saying, Joe, is that Tom Hagen is going to fix the jury. Okay. Lee Gentry, that's Claude Rains in Crime Without Passion. That is a hard no on my thing. I mean, have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God. If you're a Claude Rains fan, you have got
him.
to see, you've got to see Crime Without Passion. It's a early proto noir. It's like a pre-code. I think it was 1934. Ben Hecht, I'm pretty sure Ben Hecht wrote that.
I looked it up because I hadn't heard of it. It was Ben Hecht. Yeah.
And Claude Rains plays a very, very arrogant attorney who murders like a showgirl and then defends himself in court. And he's just the biggest grandstanding. Oh my God. But he is so good in it. Or do you want Alonzo Emmerich, Louis Calhern in The Asphalt Jungle, with his left-handed defense? Again, another guy that I would not trust at all. Oh, come on. Kim Wexler, right? Ray Seahorn from Better Call Saul will provide you with a legal defense and lend you one of Jimmy's ties. I would do my level best to take Kim Wexler away from Jimmy McGill. That's what I would do.
We can't blame you for that.
Yeah, not a smart idea with your attorney, though. Or do you want the man himself, Jimmy McGill doing business as Saul Goodman. Uh, you know, again, these are all the worst examples of upright attorneys you could ever ask for. Um,
Oh, land crabs.
Oh yeah, go land crabs. Yeah.
I'm wearing my American Samoa t-shirt.
And then Joe, of course, this is pretty clever. He says, if I got to pick my own DA, I would definitely go with Hamilton Berger. Uh, yeah, I mean, pick your own because he never won a case. I think he won one in the whole time of Perry Mason. Hamilton Berger won one case. So yeah, I would want him definitely opposing me in the courtroom.
So who would you want defending you?
I mean, of those, seriously, I would have to say Kim Wexler because she's the only one that I feel has any glimmer of ethics in her, which, still unbelievably matters to me.
Yeah.
Even though it matters to no one else in this country at this point, it still matters to me. How about you?
If I couldn't get Perry Mason, that would be my first pick. Let's see.
Of course.
I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up between. I mean, if I was innocent, Kim Wexler. If I was guilty, Jimmy McGill.
Okay. What about Jimmy Stewart from Anatomy of a Murder?
Yes.
Right. I mean, he was pretty
great.
Good.
Yeah, he's a very good lawyer.
Yeah. Okay. It's funny. Sometimes when we get these questions that are like the hypotheticals, I kind of like, oh God, now I got to actually kind of think about this. But then they always end up being kind of fun.
Yeah, I like the hypothetical questions. Okay, so this is from Jim in Chicago. TCM recently showed The Brotherhood, a late 60s mafia movie starring Kirk Douglas, which in many ways foreshadowed The Godfather in its, for the time, frank depiction of organized crime. Prior to watching it, I only knew The Brotherhood as the movie that nearly prevented Paramount from making The Godfather for fear of another box office failure. While certainly not on par with The Godfather, The Brotherhood has gained more respect over the years as a worthy precursor. Your thoughts?
I haven't seen it. That's my thought. I have not seen The Brotherhood.
I have also not seen The Brotherhood.
Okay. So wow, and it showed on, which just goes to show you that like a lot of people say TCM is on 24/7 in my household. It's not on 24/7 in my household. So I did not see that. I mean, I'm aware of all that stuff that Jim just shared about their concerns over it, but so I can't address. Hello? Oh, have we got a kitty cat?
Yeah.
I cannot address how the similarities between The Godfather and The Brotherhood, but I do know that the reason The Godfather was so successful is because it's a family drama.
Yeah.
More than it's a gangster movie, it's a family drama. And that's why it was so popular. It's verging on soap opera.
Yeah.
But it has that extraordinary cast, and Coppola is a great director, and Mario Puzo wrote a great story. So I don't know enough about The Brotherhood to make that comparison. Sorry, Jim. Okay, this one is from Michael. It's about Pale Flower. Pale Flower is a pristine piece of cinematic art. There you go. And your TCM intro to it is superb and very thoughtful, or very insightful. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. Regarding Tamiki, he is only referred to by name when we hear about his death, but where do we see him during the movie? I have no idea. I'm trying to remember who Tamiki is in the film. I just know, that's such a two-hander, it seems, it's
Yeah.
like Rio Akebi and Marika Kaga. I that is her name, right? Mariko, I think so. I know Kaga is her last name. And the guy who plays the heroin addict, Yo. But I'm trying to remember who Tamiki is. Is Tamiki one of the Yakuza that our guy Maraki, I think, is the character's name.
I will
Um,
go to the next part of the question. I will look up the character name on the internet.
Also, okay, he says, also, I have a theory. Oh boy, this is kind of a spoiler. Or oh, I don't know, because I haven't read this, so I don't want to spoil anything, but
So that's a good question. So I guess what I would say is if you haven't
um
seen Pale Flower, maybe
okay, I'm
close your
reading it through
ears.
and I'm seeing it. No, he's suggesting that
Okay.
the character of Psycho, yeah, which is a very pretty common Japanese name, although it always strikes me as interesting that your character is named Psycho. He's suggesting that she is a virgin in the film, uh, and there are scenes in the movie that might indicate that. Um, I think that they're bonded. Oh, as for her thing with the guy I mentioned, Yo, who shoots her up with heroin in the movie to give her another high.
Yeah.
Um, yes, there's nothing there except the drugs. That's kind of what Michael is
Yeah.
suggesting, and I agree with that. So basically, Michael's question, which I'm just going to paraphrase, is that this character is after every high she can imagine. She's an adrenaline junkie,
Yeah.
but she is sex averse, which is why the relationship between Meraki and Psycho is chaste. I mean, you never see them having sex. The stuff they do is a replacement for that. All the gambling and the driving 100 miles an hour on the freeway and all the crazy shit, and then eventually, I just wrote about Pale Flower for this book that I'm doing with Imogen Sarah Smith, Noir Around the World, and I write about Pale Flower to a great extent uh, in the book, and it's pretty clear that the adrenaline rush these people are after is a substitute for the sex. Like they already know that the sex is going to be disappointing. That's my take on all of that. So they're past that early on and looking for other things because only danger and near death experiences are going to get them where they want to go. So it's a little more complicated where Meraki is concerned. I think it has a lot to do with his trying to find a replacement for his. And because see, Michael, you've opened up a can of worms now. Because if people haven't seen Pale Flower, they're going to not know what the hell I'm talking about. But it is written by Shintaro Ishihara, and his his whole thing was trying to grapple with the feudal history of Japan and the whole samurai culture and that code and a very nationalistic thing
Mm-hmm.
about what it means to be Japanese, which all kind of vanished after the American occupation. And I think that Meraki's character is sort of seeking a replacement for that, like the honor of serving your master and being a good samurai and all that stuff. And so eventually, when he's kind of put out to pasture after coming back from jail, I think he replaces all of that with this young woman. Like he's doing it all for her. He wants to, yeah. And then at the end, when she's like a femme fatale, and then he calls her bluff by saying, "You want the ultimate high? Well, I'll show you the ultimate high." And then he, you know, invites her to watch him murder this gang boss in a public place, and it's a pretty extraordinary sequence. Anyway, there,
Okay, so
I gave away the whole movie. If people were watching, sorry. After me doing the spoiler warning, I went and gave away the whole movie.
and Tamaki is a character. Let's see. Tamaki is a minor character member of the Yakuza underworld featured in film.
Okay, so
Film focuses heavily on the main characters, with Tamaki appearing as part of the wider, dangerous Yakuza world they inhabit.
well, just one of the things that was taken out of the film when it was streamlined to be more pure cinema.
Yeah.
Because that was just, yeah. Shinoda, when he was making the film, it was like, we don't need this, we don't need that. And so he really just took out so much. He took out so much of the script that the screenwriter was like, I don't release this movie. It's embarrassing. This is not the movie that I wrote.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Okay.
I'll try not to spoil any more movies tonight.
Okay.
This is you.
Okay, so I'm just going to say really quick, because you already covered this, but Michael also pointed out, as for a relationship with the dope fiend, I think their bond is based only on drugs.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
She's just using that guy because he has access to heroin and she wants to try it.
Yeah.
That there's nothing else going on there.
Okay. This is from David in Carmel Valley. I'm a huge fan of foreign noir, especially crime and film noirs from France. I buy everything that Criterion and
Kino Lorber
put out. However, many of the French titles do not have English equivalent titles. This makes it difficult for me to remember whether I've seen a particular title when I'm shopping for a new release. I often have to read the online summary and try to recall whether it sounds familiar. They all seem to star the same actors, are about some grizzled gangster or heist, and most often take place in Paris. So this all gets difficult to distinguish one film from the other. I'm not French, so I won't bother trying to phonetically remember these titles. The question for you is, how do you recall what foreign titles you have seen from France?
It's my job. That's pretty funny. You know, it's interesting. This is a strange question, and it makes me think. Here's how I remember, because I have to write about these things. Right. You are so close to getting an appearance out of one of these, one or both. Is it one or both?
You can see him in the background, but he's sort of getting on a bookshelf and stuff. So just keep.
Just keep an eye. Okay, I'm gonna study the screen, and I'll warn you if I see a sneak attack coming up. Okay,
but I'm hoping people can see they're sort of over there.
Oh yeah, I see some movement back there. Yeah. Okay,
so
very good.
They were up on the perch over here, and one of them kept talking to me. That's why my hand kept going up there.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. They're
new. In Dave's question, the thing that's interesting to me about this is I write about these films. So when I see a film that interests me, I generally have to write about it.
No.
And in the process of writing about it, I have to pick out the things that stand out in the film, right? And then it's like, oh, and I was just doing this before I came up here to talk to you. You know, I was writing about a Japanese film called I Am Waiting from 1957. And this is how I remember names and things. That's why I know that, you know, Yujiro Ishihara is the star of the movie, and Koriyoshi Kurihara is the director of the movie, and Mei Kitahara is the star. You know, it all sounds the same, right? But not if you're actually writing about it.
Yeah.
Then you are, it's being engraved in your mind. So I think when you're a film fan, and the only thing you have to do with the films is enjoy them. You watch one and then you want to enjoy another one by the same director right away.
Yeah.
And you watch them back to back to back, and then if you're not writing about them, I can see where it would be kind of hard to distinguish between them. And like, which one was that again? Because people do that all the time to me. They say, I can't remember this movie that I saw and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, try writing about it, and I
Yeah,
guarantee
I guess
you
that's
will
true. Yeah,
remember it.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's just that's become a no-brainer for me. I can, and I know exactly what Dave was talking about those French films, especially in the 1950s, because like when Jean Gabin had his comeback with Touché pas Grisby, all of a sudden, like for the next 5 years, there were just dozens of very, very similar French crime movies, like
yeah,
Razia sur le Schnuff or something. And, Rififi, the Chez la Homme, and all this. And it's like, who can keep track? I mean, Rififi is everybody knows that one.
yeah,
But there are a bunch of films in there by not well known film directors, Henri Dequan and people like this, that made a lot of great movies, but these aren't super common films. And Lino Ventura made a lot of those movies, right? I mean, he
yeah,
made like 12 movies. Classe to Risque is a film that I just wrote about for this book, and nobody, that barely had an American release.
no,
So in America, they called it The Big Risk, which is not really spot on, and it doesn't really get the joke of the title, which had to do really with like traveling in economy class. There's some kind of French play on words that Classe du Risque is about, that it's the risk of traveling economy kind of thing.
yeah,
And which, if you've seen the movie, that Lino Ventura is trying to get from Milan to Paris, and it's difficult. Let's just say that. Anyway, so that's my long-winded answer to David's question. Okay, now
you want to do the speed round?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see if I can do this fast.
And this is from Malvina. I am a cat person and love Columbo. So I
Ta-da!
enjoy, yeah. So I enjoy your chats about our feline friends and that great detective show. My question is, will we one day have the pleasure of seeing Mulholland Drive on Noir Alley or TCM?
I don't know, but I can tell you this: I will be introducing it because there is no other option. I it was like at the TCM Classic Film Festival when they said we're going to show Blue Velvet in honor of David Lynch, and I said I am introducing that or I'm going home. and I feel this even more strongly about Mulholland Drive.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would love to do that. I mean, I don't know if it's on the list or whatever, but I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I want to have I've never shown it. I've never
Yeah.
shown it, at a festival or anything theatrically, but man, I would love to do that. I would love to do that and have Naomi Watts as a guest. I would love to do that and have a reunion of the two of them.
Yeah.
Laura Herring and Naomi Watts. That would be something. Okay, that was that question.
Is Eddie Muller the saxophone player / victim in the 2026 Noir City Seattle poster? And that's Valerie, not my sister.
I am the dead saxophone player in all the Noir City posters this year, because they obviously saw it in Seattle, but it's the same poster.
Same poster everywhere.
In every city. And yes, that is me dead on the floor. That's my Hitchcock cameo.
Let's see. And this is from Michael. Ice Harvest, noir or not? I feel it's noir, and maybe a Christmas noir. Chris Norini news or updates on getting a DVD or Blu-ray of Felix Feast, Feist or Feast?
Feist. Felix
Feist. 1947, The Devil Thumbs a Ride.
Oh, the Devil Thumbs a Ride rears its head again. Yeah. Ice Harvest is totally a noir. Yeah, my buddy Scott Phillips wrote that.
And we showed it at Noir City Christmas.
And we showed it as a Noir City Christmas film. Yes, it's pretty good. I think it holds up pretty well. Yeah, with a right screenplay. Scott, if you're listening, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was a screenplay by Richard Russo, I believe, who is one of my favorite novelists. And right, Ice Harvest. Am I starting to get early onset or what? I mean, that is a Harold Ramis directed that movie, and I believe, and Robert Benton and Richard Russo, I think, collaborated on the screenplay from Scott's very fine debut novel. And yeah, and John Cusack and Billy Bob Thornton are great in that. And yeah, so yes, the answer is yes, totally a noir, and I recommend it.
Okay, and this is from Coleman. The Boston Globe critic Odie Henderson has an article today on the 75th anniversary of All About Eve. When talking about the question of whether or not Thelma Ritter's Birdie disappears from the movie is because Eve killed her, he states there's nothing conclusive, but my dark norista heart likes to think that might be true. So why not ask the Tsar of Noir? Did Eve kill Birdie because she knew Birdie was onto her?
There are enough reasons to hate Eve without putting hanging murder on her as well. So honestly, I never really thought about it that much. And I was just glad that question didn't go where I thought it was going, which All About Eve, noir or not. No. But that's interesting. And Odie's the greatest. I've known Odie for a number of years, and I have his book right over here. He wrote a really terrific book called Black Caesars and Foxy Cleopatras. It was like his history of black exploitation movies.
Huh.
And it's really fun. There it is. Black Caesars and Foxy Cleopatras. I got the title right. Yeah, ding, ding, ding. Really swell book. Okay, that was that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. So what was? So that was a yes.
I said it didn't. It never really even occurred to me that Eve had killed her.
No, I don't think so. I'll just throw it out there. No, yeah. I don't think so, because there's no way she would be able to get the drop on Birdie. I don't believe that for a minute.
Nobody gets the drop on Thelma Ritter.
Yeah, there's no way. Okay, and this is our old friend,
except Richard Kiley in Pickup on South Street, but she saw it coming and she accepted it.
Okay, Lauren from Chicago. I recently saw a movie starring your favorite actor, Gregory Peck. The film is titled, Did You Not Like Gregory Peck? Has that come up at some point?
I'm sure I said it somewhere along the line that I never warmed up to Gregory Peck. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. The film is titled Night People and is usually classified as an espionage thriller, but I don't think so. I think it's a film noir. The film was primarily shot at night and uses the streets of West Berlin to its advantage. The movie is quick-paced with sharp dialogue and has many twists, including a great turn of events at the film's conclusion. Peck gives a very atypical performance and gets great supporting help from Buddy Ebsen and Broderick Crawford. Eddie, have you seen this film, and would you consider it a film noir?
I have not seen it, but now I will seek it out. It sounds kind of like a picture he did in the mid '60s called Mirage.
Yeah,
with Diane Baker, which is really on the fence. Is this really a film noir? Things changed in the '60s.
Yeah,
I think largely because of the influence of James Bond. The success in 1962 of the Bond films really changed a lot of films after that, where they had to be a little more spy espionage kind of things instead of just a straight crime story. And Mirage kind of fits that bill. It definitely has like 60s paranoid thriller, like post-Manchurian Candidate kind of thing, but it's not bad. Edward Dmytryk directed it, but I haven't seen Night People, so I I will seek it out, even though I'm not I have nothing against Gregory Peck. I just it's kind of like what we were saying earlier about Robert Duvall, where you just stop seeing Robert Duvall when he's on screen.
Yeah.
I always see Gregory Peck. When every movie he's in, I'm watching him. It's like, oh, Gregory Peck. Like he never stops being Gregory Peck to me. Is that me? I don't know.
No, I mean, I would say though, for my exception for that was when he played Ahab in the Orson Welles adaptation of Melville's novel Moby Dick.
Yeah, although I can never get past there being one guy to play Ahab, and that is Sterling Hayden. And I accept no substitutes. It's like
he would make a great Ahab.
The greatest missed opportunity in movie history. There were two of them. Sterling Hayden should have played Captain Ahab, and when that didn't happen, no disrespect intended, but Sterling Hayden should have played Quint in Jaws. God love him. Robert Shaw is fabulous in that movie, and I'm just saying, but I feel like it was a missed opportunity to not have Sterling. Of course, given Sterling Hayden's proclivities, I don't think Steven Spielberg would have survived the production of Jaws if Sterling Hayden was in that movie. Robert Shaw had his own proclivities in that department.
Yeah.
But Hayden was as much a hash head as he was a drinker.
Yeah.
And I just think Hayden would not have tolerated the production delays.
Yeah.
That, Robert Shaw just went and got drunk.
Yeah.
Right. And like, call me when we're ready to go, in 17 or 18 days when the shark is working, let me know.
Yeah.
I don't think Hayden would have stuck around.
What are you doing? Sorry.
We're going to get I know in a second this cat is going to leap right on you. And like,
sorry, it's just I have a multi-level cat tree, and the two of them, one's on the top and the other one was on the next one, and they were kind of rustling together.
Okay, here's I'm glad they're being playful. That's brothers.
I'm sorry, I'm so distracted by the cats. They're just so adorable.
Well, and also you're just getting used to them, so you're forgiven. You're forgiven. But we should get you one of those little surveillance cameras, little GoPros, and then we can have picture in picture.
Yeah,
where we're doing this, but everybody can see what the cats are doing. Yeah,
that's a great idea because they're being very adorable just off screen. I feel so bad that you guys can't see how cute they're being.
Well, okay. I have one of those cameras in the basement, so I know what the cat is doing when I need to know. Right, even if I'm like, just the other day I was in LA, and I can get on my phone and I can see the cat like drinking water and walking around in the basement. It's like, okay, she's fine. No. Okay. Any more lightning round? Oh, here we go.
We've lightened ourselves.
Okay, very good. That wasn't so bad.
No.
I kind of stuck to the spirit of the thing, maybe. Huh. Is it me?
Yeah. Question 6.
Question 6 is from May. I saw the Prowler on TCM last month and noticed James Ellroy's name in the restoration credits. What was his involvement in the project? You get your name on the restoration credits when you give us money. That would explain the involvement. Is he a regular contributor to film restoration, or did he have a particular interest in this film? Okay. Good question, May.
So people know this is a film that the Film Noir Foundation produced the restoration of.
Correct. We funded it and did the whole thing. And in fact, it was our first restoration. It was the very first project we did. And it's actually, the Prowler is actually the reason I know James Ellroy. Because how did this all happen? James was living in Carmel, and a guy owned a fabulous movie theater in Monterey, the Golden State Theater, and they were doing a series where they invited writers to come in and choose films to show at this series, right? And they, because James was now living nearby, they asked him to do it, and he said, "I want to show the Prowler," and they didn't know how to get it or what to do with it, and he said, "Call Eddie Muller. He'll know where to find it." But he didn't know me. He just knew of me, right? So so that was really it. And I said, "Well, we're actually in the early stages of restoring that film," and then that got him very excited, and he made a substantial contribution to funding that restoration that earned him the credit on that. And he loves the movie. Loves That's why he wanted to show it. Right? He's the guy who called the prowl car the Creepmobile. That Webb Garwood drives the Creepmobile. And it's pretty. When you think about it, the Prowler fits right in with Ellroy's whole LAPD. Although it is noticeable that it is not identified as the LAPD in the movie.
They were careful not to.
They're very careful not to say that, even though it's obvious that it's Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the deal, and James and I have been buds since then.
Yeah. And I did meet him one time. I really enjoyed meeting him, mainly because we really both hate rich people, so we had something in common.
Although he is one now.
He really is one now. It's the principle of the thing. Okay.
But James may be very wealthy, well deserved from his writing career, but he's like us. I mean, he spends his money on books and records, and he doesn't have an extravagant lifestyle at all.
Yeah, that does not surprise me.
Yeah,
to hear that. It's curtains. Okay.
Are they hanging on the curtains now?
Yeah.
Okay, is this going to be a new thing? We're going to have to get used to these guys because they're taking over the show without even being on camera.
On camera, I know. They're 8 months old, so they're
playful.
So my old ladies were just that old ladies when we were doing the show. Okay. This is from Eric, not my husband, ex-husband, a different Eric. I know that someone asked on the last YouTube about your thoughts on the FX series, The Lowdown. At the time, I don't believe either of you had watched it. Have you since?
No.
Nope.
That was a quick one.
And I even left it. I did. And by the way, just so people know, I actually left that question for several episodes just in case Eddie had watched it in the meantime. So I let that go before I put it back in again right now.
You have no idea how busy Eddie is right now.
No.
And so the problem with that, the reason I haven't watched it is because it's a series. Because I just do not have time to commit to a series, and I'm not a big binge watcher. I can't focus for that long. I mean, I can focus on a movie, no problem. It's not that I can't focus; I can't commit that amount of time to a storyline or something, So, like once a month, I'll watch a series.
Yeah.
Okay. Otherwise, I'm either watching I just watched I Am Waiting again because I'm writing about it.
Yeah.
This is. Unfortunately, a lot of my movie watching these days is movie rewatching, so that I'm sure I'm not forgetting something when I'm writing about a film, So, yeah. I mean, in a couple of days, I'm going to go and record, 15 new episodes of Noir Alley. And I kind of had to rewatch all those movies again.
Yeah.
Just to flesh out the screenplay so that I feel like I'm not doing this from memory. I mean, it's all very, very fresh in my mind. If it's a movie I haven't seen in a while, I have to go back and rewatch it before I can effectively write about it. Okay. This is Ken from Oklahoma. I've always enjoyed the performances of Don Bedeau. Thank God Don Bedeau has now been mentioned on this show. In noirs such as The Narrow Margin and The Night of the Hunter, do either of you have a supporting actor who brings a smile to your face when you're seeing him or her in a noir, especially one that you may believe doesn't get enough recognition for their work? Anne, do you have a?
Originally when I thought about this question, I thought of like Hope Emerson and like Percy Hilton,
Oh
and
yeah,
even
Percy Hilton.
Jen Sterling. Even I don't know if she's really considered a character actress. She's a little maybe above that, but I
She
just
always
love.
played characters,
Yeah, I mean
but they were the stars of the movie.
yeah, but I was just thinking like Female on the Beach. I love her so much in
Yeah.
that movie. But then when I really started, but then today, as I was straightening up the kitchen at work, I thought, what actually usually puts a smile on my face? It's like, for some reason, film noirs have the best older women characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like, Born to Be Bad. Is that Spring Byington? Born to Be Bad? What's the actress?
Spring Byington. Yes, I believe
Yeah,
it
in
is.
Born to Be Bad. And then,
Yep.
like, in that movie, Somewhere in the Night. I mean, the best thing in the movie is when he's at the house and he's
It's
talking to
Joyce
the old.
McKenzie.
Oh my
Joyce
God.
McKenzie is the actress. Yeah, she's
She's
great.
Kermit, and then like the what's it called, the Sign of the Ram, like the older the mom
Uh,
character in that.
who was that? I know Susan Peters, but who was the?
I'm trying to
It
remember
wasn't
who the
like slipping my mind right now,
yeah,
but I know what you're saying. It's like when Florence Bates shows up in a movie, or the queen of all, Esther Howard,
yeah,
shows up in a
Esther
film.
Howard, yeah,
But I'm taking Ken's question to mean like it's somebody who kind of steps in from the side of the frame, and you smile because it's like, oh, this guy,
yeah,
he's always good,
yeah.
But it's not like he's not even really, he or she is
Oh,
not really pivotal to the movie or anything. They're just there.
and one of mine also is Jack Webb.
Well, Jack,
No, because he's great. It's Sunset Boulevard.
he is really good in Sunset
I
Boulevard.
love him in Sunset
Artie.
Boulevard. Yeah, that's like I love that. Of course, the first time I think it's probably the very first time I saw the film, I didn't know who Jack Webb was really. Aside from like, it didn't make an impression on me. It was before I gotten. I mean, I'd seen Dragnet, but it was before I got really into
But
his
that's kind of
radio
an that's not a
Oh,
Jack Webb kind of
no, that's what
role. I
makes it
mean,
so fun.
he's a nice guy, and he's smiling and he's laughing and
Yeah,
he's like hitting William Holden like, "Hey, come on, cheer up, buddy. Come on, ease up,"
yeah. Yeah, no, which I think, by the way, is much more what Jack Webb was actually like in real life, from what I
Could
understand.
and I have to say, Anne, both in Oakland and in Seattle, Pete Kelly's Blues played great for a contemporary audience. I mean, people really got into it. I mean, it's such a odd movie, but maybe not as odd as people might think. I mean, it you like it not because it's odd. You like it because it's odd that you're liking a Jack Webb movie about jazz in Kansas City. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
why is this as good as it is? You
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people don't. Yeah, because like I've always really wanted to see that film because I knew that Jack Webb was a huge jazz fan, and this was the film,
Right.
this was the thing he wanted to do most, and he was able to get like Peggy Lee and Ella Fitzgerald and it, and that stuff, and I'd always wanted to see it, and so I was super stoked when you played it because great, I'll get to see it on the big screen. I'm so happy the first time I see this film was going to be on the big screen. That was really special for me. I was so happy when you announced that was going to be
It's
playing.
pretty good.
Yeah,
It is really a pretty good movie, and
yeah,
I like the way it looks. I mean, it's Harold Rawson cinematography, and it's not noir. It doesn't look like a film noir. It's very, very colorful
yeah,
movie, but it's very artfully done color.
yes.
There's a design to the palette that is really kind of cool.
It's a really beautiful film. I mean, it
Yeah.
really looks great, and yeah, I can't recommend it enough for people. You know, I was so happy so happy you programmed that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be showing it many more times
Yeah.
over the course of the year. So if people
So,
come out to the Noir City Festival, odds are they're gonna see it.
yes.
I'm going to throw in one quick name for a guy that always makes me, taking this literally, always makes me smile when he comes on screen, is an actor named Frank Jenks. I might have mentioned him on this program previously. He just had a very funny, characteristic face and a very distinctive voice. He was the best at playing drunks in movies.
Yeah.
He's in Woman on the Run. He's one of the deputies to Robert Keith in Woman on the Run, and he like comes in out of the frame and he says, "Did you round up the suspects?" He goes, "It seems like every guy in San Francisco tonight is wearing a snap brim felt and a brown jacket, you know." And he's just great. He's fantastic in High Wall with Robert Taylor and Audrey Totter, where he's so good they just let him take over like 5 minutes of the movie,
Yeah.
just playing this drunk character in a bar. And it's like, oh my God, Frank Jenks, just keep going. Just keep doing what you're doing, Frank. It's the most entertaining thing in the movie.
Oh, and Percy Hilton.
Percy Hilton to me is the pantheon. You know, the noir pantheon of character actors is like Elijah Cook Jr. and Percy Hilton, Whit Bissell. There has to be a place in there for Whit Bissell, who did more of these movies than anybody else, I think. You know, and then I'm sure there are the female equivalents like Esther Howard. You know, obviously, if you don't smile when Eve Arden comes on screen in a movie,
she's awesome.
like you're dead. You know, because she's one of those people, like I said earlier about Duvall. Eve Arden is generally the best thing in every movie that she's in. Like Thelma Ritter. I mean, these are performers who are instantly the best thing in the movie when they walk on camera.
Yeah, I love Eve Arden.
Yep, she's the best. You'll see it sooner or later, but this this Monday I'm shooting a thing for TCM that Eve Arden will be in.
Oh, awesome!
Unfortunately, it's not the real Eve Arden.
Of course,
it's the Eve Arden on film, but it's a really fun interstitial that I wrote for Noir Alley that features a lot of these people that we've just been talking about. So I'll leave the rest of it.
Very cool.
I'll leave the rest of it a secret, but everybody will see it eventually if they get TCM.
All right. Okay, so we are to Carl here. Okay, this is Carl's question. My wife and I recently watched the original Perry Mason TV shows and noticed that often our favorite shows had scripts by Jonathan Latimer.
Yep.
He wrote 32 between 1958 and 1965. Our question among his movie scripts, which films do you recommend most other than The Big Clock and Alias Nick Beale, which we will take for previously endorsed and applauded?
What's interesting is you left out one little thing in that question. He said, my wife and I recently watched all the original Perry Mason TV shows. That's an accomplishment.
That's impressive, actually. You're right.
Is like all of them. Wow. Okay. That's a lot of Perry Mason and Della Street and all of them, you know? I think Jonathan Latimer's best screenplay is They Won't Believe Me, that he did for Joan Harrison, the producer Joan Harrison. And I just think that's an absolutely fantastic screenplay. I mean, based on a story. I think Gordon MacDonald wrote the story, but otherwise it's like an original. It's a largely original script by Latimer. You know, which The Big Clock, as great as it is, I mean that's I would never say that's a Jonathan Latimer story. That's a Kenneth Fearing story, with very well adapted to the screen by Jonathan Latimer, but They Won't Believe Me.
Yes, is the one that's not some. Yeah,
is great. And Nocturne, which I just showed at the festival here in Oakland, is a really terrific screenplay. Should have been a better film.
Yeah.
Not the screenplay's fault. The screenplay is pretty darn good. It's George Raft's fault, kind of. But and I shouldn't be negative. The director, Edward Marin, that's probably the best film of his that I've seen.
Yeah.
That's probably the best one. And I think most of that credit goes to Joan Harrison.
Yeah.
Who I think kind of pushed him to do more than he usually did, because Edward Marin was like the total phone it in director, because he was like George Raft's personal director.
Yeah.
And he never asked George Raft to do anything more than the usual. And he, it was making sure everybody was off by cocktail hour,
Yeah.
And anything that's really, really good in that movie is Joan Harrison and Jonathan Latimer and Harry Wilde, who photographed it. And some of the players are really good. But those are the two. I mean, he wrote many more. He wrote 9 pictures for John Farrell, just for John Farrell alone, right? So in addition to Alias Nick Beale.
And he did write an episode of Columbo.
Oh, amazing.
Yes. The Greenhouse Jungle, which is the one that was Ray Milland's second Columbo episode.
Okay, that's a Ray Milland. Okay.
And it's and Ray Milland's like a total like bitch in it. He's really funny. It's good.
Ray Milland was a little. He was a little creepy when he got a little long in the tooth, like his later films, God love him, he was still working and giving good performances, but the charm that he had in his starring days had all but evaporated.
Because the first episode he did was Death Lends a Hand, which is I love. It's one of my all-time favorite episodes, and he plays a sympathetic killer. He's the older husband of the murdered character.
Okay.
And he's very like sympathetic in that. And he does a good job in it and stuff. And then in Greenhouse Jungle, he's the murderer in this one. And he's just like does not like his nephew's wife. So the two of them are like sparring whenever they're talking. He's like insulting people. But he's really funny in it. I mean he's really it's I think one of his best of his later roles. He's really funny in it.
So here's the trivia question. Which film did Ray Milland star in? The Incredible Two-Headed Transplant or The Thing with Two Heads? He's in one of them, right? And Rosie Greer is
the other head.
The former football player is the other guy. And honestly, you're never supposed to ask a trivia question that you don't know the answer to. And I do not remember. It's just weird that I remember the title of both of them, but I cannot remember which one Ray Milland was in.
I think it's The Thing with Two Heads.
Shall we do this? Shall we
look it up? And I believe that is, oh God, what's his name? Oh God, I'm blanking on the name of the guy that wrote it.
Uh-oh.
Man.
Okay. Thing with Two Heads. That's it.
All right.
The Thing with Two Heads is the one that stars Rosie Greer and Ray Milland. Yeah. Wow. Okay, that had to be weird. Making that movie had to be
really weird.
Yeah. Just looking at the cover of the the home video thing.
God,
is like,
it's a very strange film.
Okay.
No.
I know I saw it. I did see it, but I've repressed that memory.
No.
Okay, so this is our last one.
Final question.
Okay, final question is from Jim in Birmingham, Alabama. With all the horrible films that have been coming out the past decade or so, if one of the studios were to get wise and make new noir films, who, in your opinion, would be the best actor for a true noir? We've kind of had variations on this question
Yeah.
over the years. And the thing that's interesting, Jim, is I have to like jump on my high horse here and say, I'm going to have to rephrase your question, because the way you have phrased the question was, if the studios were to get wise and make new noir films, who, in your opinion, would be the best? It doesn't actually work that way, because you would want to cast the best person for the role, and that begins with the screenplay,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to what contemporary actors do you think would fit right in to a noir film, right? Which is a different thing. That's kind of like building the film around them, as opposed to, oh, there's this great noir screenplay. I don't think there's like an actor, he automatically has to be in it, because you have to cast the right person in the role, right? If any of that makes sense, or I'm just splitting hairs, I don't know. But that's a tough one, you know. Do you have anybody that, I mean, besides Mads Mikkelsen, do you have anybody
Mass. Yeah, no.
that is like, oh, if
I
only
was
this guy made a noir
I've always
film?
wanted to see Amy Adams play a femme fatale.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only time I don't know what it is about. One day I was watching her and something. I love her. I think she's great. I'm thinking it'd be great if someone cast her as a femme fatale, because it'd be so unexpected. Like, it would totally sucker the audience in, because they wouldn't see it coming, you know.
Yeah.
And she's a good actress, so she could do it. I'm sure she'd enjoy doing it too. But
I think the only, because I've seen her in a couple of things that are borderline noir,
yeah,
but she was not a femme fatale
yeah.
in either of them, right? Like, she was in that horrible movie, The Woman in the Window.
Oh, I didn't see that because the book was stupid.
It was, well, it was part
Sorry.
it was part of the woman trend, you know.
Yeah. That was not
first there was the girl
Yeah.
who, you know, that was Stieg Larsson. We have to blame for all the girl books and movies, but not all of which were bad. But The Woman in the Window was not a good film.
Yeah.
And she was also in that crazy ass movie that Tom Ford made called Nocturnal Animals.
Oh yeah, she was, but I never saw that.
There are things of interest in it, but I just felt like Tom Ford he understands film. I don't know that he is an instinctive filmmaker.
Okay.
I mean, there was stuff in that film that just really rubbed me the wrong way. And where I felt like it felt at times more like performance art than cinema.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not a big fan of that movie. There's great stuff in it.
Yeah.
Like, I see, now I'm starting to doubt myself. Michael Shannon is in that movie.
I love Michael Shannon.
I'm pretty sure Michael Shannon is in that movie.
I got to see him on stage one time.
I'm sure that was intense.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Yeah.
But there's the answer. I just came around to it. Michael Shannon is the answer.
Yeah. Oh,
like, in your opinion, who would be the best actor to be in a noir? Michael Shannon. He did a really interesting post 9/11 noir called The Missing Person.
Yeah.
That was really about his character dealing with the aftershocks of 9/11.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty good film. I enjoyed it. And I just think he's great. If you've seen Bug, right?
I have not seen Bug yet.
Oh my God.
I know.
Michael Shannon and Ashley Judd. For me, that's the great unappreciated Wiliam Friedkin film. Because I think that's like the last, well, I can't say it's the last great film he made, because I haven't seen all of his later films. I mean, I saw Killer Joe, and I like Bug a lot more than Killer Joe. I like all the actors in it, but I don't know. And they're both written by the same guy. Tracy Letts wrote both Bug and Killer Joe. Um, but yeah, Michael Shannon is great because
Yeah.
he can play a heavy as well as anybody in the movies today. But then, like you're saying with Amy Adams, it's like a switcheroo. When
Yeah.
he plays a sympathetic character,
Yeah.
he's pretty darn effective,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's the Take Shelter, which is about someone who develops adult onset schizophrenia. I mean, he's just
Yeah,
very sympathetic. That is a
I like
great
that film. That's a good
performance.
Jeff Nichols. That's a
Yeah, it's a
good
great
film.
film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah. So there, see, just running my mouth, I came around to a good answer. Michael Shannon, and now of course he's out on the road pretending he's Michael Stipe because he fronts an REM cover band.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, no,
Yeah,
I did
that's
not.
what he's doing right now.
Oh
He's
my
out
God.
on tour doing all REM songs, and apparently he's pretty good.
It's like a foot taller than Michael Stipe.
Yes, yes, and a tiny bit more intense, I would think, than I love Michael Stipe as a singer, but
No, me too.
uh, yeah, I've seen Michael Shannon do one REM song, and it was like, wow, that's pretty darn good.
All right. Cool.
Okay, so
All right.
we
That's
brought
it.
it in for a landing.
We
Look
did.
at that. Look at that. It's like, how do we do it? It's like
Yeah.
exactly 90 minutes that, we started at like 3 minutes past 6 and it is now 7:29.
Really quickly, Ted and I watched a French film with Lino Ventura and Jacques Brel called A Pain in the Ass.
I've
And
heard
it
of this
was
film.
hilarious. It was so funny because Lino plays this assassin who comes to France to to kill someone in a high profile corruption case, right? So he checks into this hotel, and meanwhile, uh, Jacques Brel's character is next door and tries to kill himself and fails, but then the bellboy comes up and wants to call the police, and of course Lino doesn't want the police called because he needs to assassinate someone, and so then he gets stuck taking care of the guy, and it was you because I said
It sounds like one of those one damn thing after another
it
movies.
is, and Lino is so funny. Because he's so stoked, but you just see him just like
Yeah,
falling
yeah.
apart. It's like in a really subtle way, but it's just like
I have to
great.
tell you, Ann, I don't know that I have ever seen Lino Ventura in a comedy.
Oh, he's so good.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
He's so good. And evidently, they made the same. Billy Wilder also made a film from the same play that was called Buddy Buddy.
Oh yeah, that
And
yeah.
just when I was watching, it was like I just couldn't picture like Walter Matthau in that role. Because the thing about Lino is that you believe that he's an assassin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah,
what
of
makes it so
course, of
funny
course.
is you completely believe, and when he intimidates someone, you completely see why they're caving in and stuff. And it makes it so much more funny because he is so believable. He really seems like a professional assassin.
It's interesting that you said that about
Yeah.
Buddy Buddy. I do believe that directors, as they get older, I think they want to work with the same people over and over again because they're older.
Yeah.
And they don't want to go when you're younger, you have the energy and the stamina
Yeah.
to deal with new people and their new approaches and their new attitudes and I think as you get older, you just like, I just don't want to hassle with this. I want somebody that I know and can trust, and we already have a shorthand, which is dangerous because you can get a phoned in performance,
Yeah.
and I think that kind of happened to Billy Wilder a couple of times
Yeah.
later in his career. He was just like, I only got so much energy. I want to go with Jack and with Walter, and like we're gonna do this, and yeah, I showed at the TCM festival a couple of years ago. I showed one of his later comedies, Avanti. Have you ever
Mm-hmm.
seen that?
I've not.
Which is Jack Lemmon and Juliette Mills, and
Yeah.
it's shot in Italy, and I don't think he directed Jack Lemmon at all. And there's nothing wrong with the performance, right? Except I think for some people it becomes a bit too much Jack Lemmon.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think Billy Wilder was going to say, bring it down a couple of notches, Jack, you know.
Uh-huh.
I just don't think he had it in him at that point. And so and it's interesting because that is also one of those kinds of movies where it's like one damn thing after another. It's like so fast, everything has to just keep moving.
Yeah.
Tricky as you get older to orchestrate that kind of stuff. You only got you better have a good assistant director and a good team working with you, because I think you really can lose the thread at a certain point. That's why I was so impressed when I saw Killer Joe.
Yeah.
Because Friedkin was like 80 years old when he made that movie.
Yeah.
And that movie had the vitality.
Yes, absolutely. It did.
Of a young filmmaker making that film.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we did it.
Yeah. Anyway, so everybody watch A Pain in the Ass. Lorber put it out, so it'll probably be, I bet, on Canopy or Hoopla.
Cool. Okay.
You guys
Thank you. Thank you for that.
It is really funny, but I love farce. Farce is probably my favorite type of comedy.
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. Farce. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I love it. That's why I love seeing the Ritz at TCM last year. I mean, I was disappointed that Rita Moreno wasn't able to come for it after all, but I enjoyed seeing it in the theater then. Hey,
you want to know something kind of cool? And I'll just. Well, no, I'm not. I can't. I'm not supposed to say anything.
Okay, then we don't.
I'm not supposed to say anything until it's officially announced. But I found out one person who was attending the TCM festival specifically to do something with me, and it's pretty cool.
All right.
So
we'll leave it at that.
We'll just have to leave it at that. Yeah. So, okay.
Okay.
Well, and this was great fun. Again, my condolences about Emily, but obviously your hands are already full.
Very full.
with the new kids. So the new kids on the block. So
so hopefully in our next episode, maybe they'll be more curious and more comfortable with me, want to be up on the desk with me. I'm hoping. So
I can guarantee you, I can guarantee you that no one will ever see Bento. Because if I tried to pick her up and put her in front of the camera, I would be killed. I would be shredded.
Not a feral cat. You don't do that with a feral cat.
No way. So I'm content to just sit on the floor and look at her and let her come to me when she feels like it.
Yeah.
And then that's about the extent of it. But
that's gonna be
she's got a safe place to live at least. So there you go.
That's a good thing.
Okay.
Okay, y'all.
And that was great. I thank everybody for their questions, and we'll do this again very soon.
And for watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, share. Thank you.
Right on.
Okay. Good night, Gracie.
Good night.